Every mystery has a beginning. This one starts in the jungles of Southeast Asia, with a tree. Not a poppy field. Not a lab in some shadowy basement. A tree. In the coffee family, no less. And yet, what grows inside its leaves has put it at the center of a battle involving the DEA, the FDA, and Congress. Millions of chronic pain patients, and a question that nobody seems to want to answer out loud. Why isn't this being talked about more? The plant is called Mitragina speciosa, known on the street and in the smoke shops as Kratom. For centuries, agricultural laborers in Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia chewed its leaves, not recreationally, not recklessly. For endurance, for pain, for survival in punishing heat, doing punishing work. It was folk medicine, low-tech, passed down through generations. Today, that same ancient leaf arrives in American homes as a powder, a capsule, an extract. You can walk into a smoke shop in most U.S. states and buy it over the counter. No prescription, no pharmacist, just a credit card and a curious mind. So what exactly are you buying? Inside those leaves live two primary chemical compounds called alkaloids. Mitragynine and its more potent sibling, 7-hydroxymitragynine. Mitragynine makes up roughly 60 to 70% of the plant's active chemistry. 7-hydroxymitragynine, present in much smaller amounts. But here's where the mystery deepens. Gram for gram, it has been estimated to be 16 times more potent than morphine. Not aspirin, morphine. And you can buy this at a gas station counter. To understand why this matters, you need to understand the lock this compound fits. Deep in your brain and body sits something called the Mu Opioid Receptor. It's the same receptor that morphine targets, that oxycodone targets, that heroin targets. When something binds to this receptor, it triggers two main pathways. The first, the G-protein pathway, produces pain relief, sedation, euphoria. The second, the beta-arrestin pathway, is the dark side of opioids, respiratory depression. Tolerance, the mechanism by which overdoses kill. Here is where Kratom's chemistry becomes genuinely strange. Both compounds activate that first pathway for pain relief, while showing relatively little activity on the second, the deadly one. Scientists call it G-protein biased agonism. Researchers have spent years and billions of dollars trying to engineer a synthetic opioid with exactly this property. A painkiller that works without the respiratory depression that kills. They've been hunting for it in laboratories. Meanwhile, it's been sitting in a leaf in the jungle for centuries. So how does pain relief actually happen? When these alkaloids bind, a cascade follows. Potassium channels open. Calcium channels close. The nerve cell becomes harder to fire. The electrical signal that carries the message, "This hurts," gets dampened before it ever reaches the brain with full force. It's not that the pain disappears. It's that the volume gets turned down. For someone who has lived with chronic pain for years, that quiet isn't just comfort. It's a revelation. And yet, here is the mystery at the center of this story. An estimated 1 to 15 million Americans already use Kratom. Many feel abandoned by a medical system that has restricted opioids. Access to adequate pain control has become increasingly difficult. And here sits a compound, legal, available, and potentially safer than the drugs we've been fighting a war over. Overdose deaths attributed solely to Kratom are strikingly rare. The majority of Kratom-linked fatalities involve multiple substances simultaneously, like fentanyl or alcohol. So the question becomes, if Kratom is legal and potentially safer, why isn't it more widely used? That answer is complicated. In August of 2016, the DEA made an announcement that almost nobody saw coming. They planned to place Kratom into Schedule 1, the most restrictive category, alongside heroin. The response was unlike anything regulators expected. Tens of thousands of citizens flooded the comment lines. Patients testified, researchers objected. A bipartisan group of 51 members of Congress signed a letter demanding the DEA stand down. And in October of 2016, the DEA withdrew. That almost never happens. Public pressure stopped a federal scheduling action. In the modern era of drug policy, that is extraordinary, yet the agencies haven't fully moved on, like they're waiting for something. Now, before you walk into a smoke shop and ask for the strongest extract on the shelf, let's be clear. Kratom is not a free lunch. It is an opioid receptor agonist. That means dependence is real. Withdrawal is real. Muscle aches, insomnia, anxiety. Liver toxicity has been reported, though rarely. The safety profile here is poorly characterized. This is not a recommendation. This is not medical advice. This is a mystery, one that deserves serious scientific attention. What it is a story about a plant that science hasn't finished reading, about patients caught between policy and pain, about the rare moment when the public spoke and the machine listened. The mystery of Kratom isn't solved, but the questions it raises about pain, about policy, about who gets access to relief, those questions deserve a louder conversation. If this story made you think, you know what to do. Like, share, and visit us at unbedsidemanners.com, because the most dangerous thing in medicine isn't always what's illegal. Sometimes it's what we don't understand yet.